All right, you're on.
Good morning, Westminster. I hope you had a great March and enjoying a good cup of coffee. Good morning, Carol, and good morning, Boyd.
Good morning, Ken. Morning, Boyd.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Carol. How are you this morning?
Well, we're real
great,
good.
beautiful day.
And we're excited because we have a special guest today, Dr. Theo Painter, and we're going to talk with him in a few minutes here. But first, Boyd, do you have a weather forecast for us?
Well, it's another beautiful week in Central Texas, cool and dry.
Yeah, Jim Spencer says October is the third wettest month in Austin of the whole year.
Well, fascinating, but what are we supposed to do with that information?
What are the other two?
The two what? Oh, the two what?
The other two wettest.
Well, he didn't say, but I think it's May and June, but he did not say. So that's an unofficial report.
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
we've let's get on with Dr. Painter here. He's been waiting, and I think you have something in common with him.
Dr. Painter and I were both born and raised in Austin, Texas. But Dr. Painter, I believe your father was president of the University of Texas.
Correct.
So Theo, how was it to be the son of a celebrity?
Well, it was okay. I was in medical school at that time, so I missed a lot of the goings on.
A lot of the excitement, huh?
Yeah,
But you did do your undergraduate work at UT.
I did.
UT Austin.
There.
Yeah.
Right.
And your father was he in administration when you were in the
No, he was a zoologist
a zoologist?
and professor of zoology and a geneticist. And he came in sort of by accident because the Board of Regents had a fight with that president, and so they fired him, and they asked my father to take over for 3 months. And they liked him so well that they kept him in there for, I think, 6 years, 7 years.
That's a pretty long temporary appointment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Became permanent, huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So so the scientific gene runs in your family, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
well,
Yeah.
Well, Theo, at what point in your life did you discover that you were into this carving and you were so good at it?
well, I've been whittling around for 30 years or more, and I got interested in carving birds because we were going to decorate a condo in Port Aransas, and I thought a gull would be nice to have in the surroundings. And I had a patient who was an expert carver. He carved birds beautifully, and I knew this. And so he gave me all the information, where to find the catalogs that tell you the tools you need and the patterns for the birds and all of that. And so that's sort of how it got started.
Hmm.
Well, there's an international group that meets every so often, from all over the world. People bring their birds for judgment and criticism and so forth to this meeting. So it's really a national thing. And there's a lot you can do. In the catalogs, you have patterns. You can buy glass eyes. You can buy
For the
you can
birds, you mean?
buy- yeah, for the birds. And
Show us. I
and
think you
then-
bought one or two to show us. Did you?
sure. I've
Tell
got
us
it.
what they are and,
Well, this is a laughing gull.
oh, look at that. That's beautiful, Theo.
That's beautiful, man.
I'm not sure, but what that might be the first one I ever carved. I don't
Oh,
know.
really? Wow.
These,
So are they all life size?
I tried to make a life size, yes, sir. This is sanderlins, they're called. They run along the beach in groups.
Can you
Oh,
hold it up a little higher there? I couldn't, there you go. Yeah,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
They're
is that,
great,
are they
yeah.
like, are they like sandpipers?
Yes, they are a sandpiper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are wonderful. Wonderful. And what kind of materials do you?
Okay. The wood you use is called basswood, or another one is called tupelo. Here's an example of it. It's a beautiful wood.
Hold it up a
Close
little bit
grain.
higher.
Hold it up a little higher if you would, please, Theo. Thank you.
There we go. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And where does basswood come from?
Well, it comes from the basswood tree, which is a northern tree.
Ah.
I'd looked that up. It's in Michigan and Wisconsin and Canada that they have that tree.
Hmm.
Anyhow,
Is that a good one to carve because it's very soft or?
it's not soft, but it's easy to carve.
Uh-huh.
It'll hold up all right. It won't mash when you, like
Yeah.
balsa wood. It's better than that.
Uh-huh. How long does it take you typically to do one?
It's hard to say because you don't do it all at once. You do some of it and it gets tiring and you come back to it the next day and do a little bit. But I would say 8 or 10 hours, probably. I
Wow.
was trying to think about that. Usually it's about a week. When I start one, it'll be a week or maybe 2 weeks before I get it finished.
Do you ever go to those meetings you were mentioning?
No, I never went. And I've never had what I thought was a good enough bird
Oh,
to
I bet you
compete.
could.
Being modest.
show some of those.
What kind of tools do you use, Theo?
Well, you take it like this. Here's a pattern that you get from the catalog. You take that and put it on a board of the basswood.
Mhm.
Bandsaw and cut it out. You cut it out up and down and also laterally. End up with a square bird.
Oh,
Then you take either knives or what I use is a rotating rasp, and it takes off the wood that you don't want. So you rasp it down and make it down to where it looks like what you want. Then you go to sanding, and sanding is a lot of that work involved in getting it down. I also have
You sand it by hand?
I sanded with, I didn't have a chance to get my motor running gear on this, but you have sandpaper on a roll too, then you can roll it that way. Um,
Theo, I've got to ask, because I'm curious now. You've mentioned the bandsaw and another motor running thing. I'm wondering what the people in neighboring apartments think when they hear bandsaws dissecting things in your.
Well, I don't have the bandsaw here. It's with my daughter.
People might go missing there around there.
Yeah, and there is a thing that makes a fair amount of noise, and that's a vacuum. I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
I have a vacuum on the desk, and I try to carve under that vacuum to keep all of the sawdust from getting in all over the environment, and that makes a fair amount of noise. But
Well-
nobody's ever complained. These
Hey.
walls are well insulated in this
They
place.
are. They are.
What do you do with them after you made them? Do you have shows? Do you have open houses? Do you share them with friends?
Well, I just look at them, and the kids, my children and my grandchildren like them, and they take them away sometimes.
He's good enough to share them with his neighbors by putting out in the hall on a table outside his door. So on our way to dinner back in the days when we lived down the hall from Theo, so on the way to dinner before the pandemic, we could stop and admire his work as we were waiting for the elevator.
Y'all are good to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to walk over that way
Yeah, we're
and
gonna have to
see
go
what,
over.
see some of those.
But let me ask you, Theo, do you use the same basswood for all your bird work, or do you use different kinds of wood?
No, you buy the wood, and it's sometimes hard to get. You can get them through these catalogs
Uh-huh.
of these places that service the bird carving community. I mean, they've got the wood, they've got the tools, they got the patterns, they got the glass eyes, and they got the metal feet for some of the, and they got books and training and all sorts of things. So you can get all of that stuff that you need.
What kind of
Well,
dye do you use?
I'm sorry?
What kind of dye do you use to get the colors?
Well, I painted with acrylic paints.
Acrylic paint?
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me, is to do it right, you know?
Yeah.
Make it look natural.
Yeah, to make it look like. I want to show you one that I think I did pretty good, because I went to the painting class here and
Oh,
they helped me. I also do animals. Here,
Oh,
for
really?
example, there's an elk that I've
Oh,
done.
look at
Oh,
that.
wow, that
yeah.
is gorgeous.
Now, what did you use for the rack? What kind of materials?
Well, that's sawed out from the basswood.
That's wood.
Can you
too,
hold it
huh?
up again?
It's
Look at that.
really fragile. I made it out of, I cut it out of basswood.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That
a
looks
real
so
talent you have there. Has anybody talked to you about doing a show here at Westminster of some of your carvings?
No, I haven't heard anything like
That
that.
would be fun.
Let me show you another bird.
Oh, good.
This is
Oh,
Bob.
that's a beauty.
Look at that guy.
That's a quail.
Yeah,
That's
That's one of my favorites. I think I
Yeah.
did a pretty good job on this one.
you
Yeah,
did.
you certainly did. Certainly did.
Yeah, that's,
Now, I've got a laughable one, which you might want to see.
sure. We'd love to see it, Theo. I tell you what, that's an incredible amount of talent.
Oh, I like
Roadrunner.
that.
Roadrunner.
a roadrunner, yeah.
Chaparral.
Yeah,
Chaparral.
that is great. Now, we can't see what they're mounted on, but is it just various pieces of, like,
This is a piece of driftwood.
driftwood.
Yeah.
Hold it up a little higher. We can't see the driftwood yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, that is so interesting. Well,
Theo, that's incredible.
are they just all over your apartment?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to come visit sometime and see
Well,
all of
I'll
it.
be happy to have you come. Be very
Well,
nice.
thank you, Theo. It's been wonderful talking to you. Lots of fun. And
Thank-
I'm sure everybody's impressed with your carvings.
Can I ask you a question? What are you
Yes, sir.
working on now?
Well, I don't have a current one. I've written off for some plans on a red-tailed hawk. And
Uh-huh.
I think about trying to do that.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
It would be.
Well, I
would
think
be.
everybody would love to see what you have. We might have to arrange for a separate show for you or
Absolutely.
something. But thank you so much for joining us, Theo.
Well,
We-
thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Theo, keep
Thanks
up
for
the
being
good
here,
work.
Theo.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Now, Boyd, what's going on this week that we need to cover?
Well, there's some good stuff. Tonight at 7 on 1890, Bob Rudeshauser is going to explain the economy.
Thank goodness. I'd love to understand it myself.
Followed the next night by One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on 1890.
Oh, that
Tomorrow
seems
night.
appropriate.
You know, Boyd, I did notice some birds flying over our courtyard the other day. I don't know if that's worth mentioning, but
They flew
Anyway.
over. You think there may be a cuckoo's nest out there?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No.
Just cuckoos, maybe not a
Right,
nest.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's appropriate for the economy, not necessarily, not for Bob. We wouldn't want to say that about him.
Mm-mm.
Jack Nicholson, speaking of that movie, won an Academy Award for it.
You know, I
for
never
his role
saw
there.
that. But is that your favorite Jack Nicholson movie? I do like him.
My favorite is Terms of Endearment, which he did with Shirley MacLaine, and it was, I
Oh,
think he was
yeah.
an astronaut in that, and it was set in Houston. It was really a
Oh, that's
good
right.
movie.
Next door
Yeah.
neighbors. Next door neighbors, right. Yeah.
Larry McMurtry was a great writer. You know, we enjoyed his book, The Last Picture Show, and the movie, and so many others. Let me ask you, Boyd, have you been to his bookstore in Archer City?
I never have been. It's one of those things on your bucket list. And then he had an auction, and they sold off a whole lot of books, and he claimed he was going out of business, but he just couldn't stand to be out of the bookstore business. So he opened back up again, and I think he's got 300,000 or 400,000 titles up there of books of all sorts.
Well, you know, we don't have near that many, of course, but we do have a really nice library right here in Westminster, and I love to go in there. I love books anyway, and I know they have Lonesome Dove, I believe they do, of Larry McMurtry. And about the time I had picked out some to check out, I remember the 3,000 books that are stuffed in our apartment here, and so I try to keep from getting any from that.
You
That
know,
library.
Helen and her people in the library, her volunteers, they really do a fantastic job, and they've done a marvelous job during this pandemic.
They have. It's wonderful to have that resource here especially during this time, because I think all of us are doing more reading. I am.
Mhm.
So I noticed from the banner this month that our neighbor Jim Woodrick has a new book. It's called Bernardo. And if I read the scribble about it right in the banner, it's about Texas's largest plantation back during the Stephen F. Austin days and during the Republic of Texas. So that would be a good read.
Yeah, Jim's quite a historian, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's written a number of books, and of course you've seen his programs also that he does. One other thing I wanted to mention to you too, the Holiday Fund campaign, the RAF campaign has started. this is our chance to thank all the Westminster residents for their dedicated service during the year.
They do such a great job. They do a great job.
Have you sent your check in yet?
Oh, absolutely. We wanted to be one of the first. Have
Well,
you?
No, here's my check. Can you see it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Well,
seem
we-
on the show. Where is it?
yeah. We want to make it out to the Residents Appreciation Fund, and they abbreviated that to RAF. I hope they won't send it to the Royal Air Force. But anyway, or you send it to Jill Losey or drop it off at the reception desk in the Windsor or in the Preston. And they request that you start off a minimum of 500, but you can certainly give more.
You
That's-
certainly can. You know, that's only $1.50 a day, and they really deserve it. They're all working so hard, and it's all to make us more comfortable, and we need to show our appreciation to them for sure.
Well, we sure do. They certainly do a good job. A fantastic
What
job,
else is going
especially
on this
now.
week, boy? What else
Sorry?
you got going? What else going on this week?
The Writer's Journal is the fall edition. Will be coming out in November. Keep our fingers crossed.
You know, those make wonderful Christmas gifts. And we bought some and gave them to our kids, and they were very impressed, not only with their granddad's work in there, but with the book itself, the look of it, and you all did a very nice job of putting those together.
Yeah, it shows how many talented and really creative people we have here as neighbors at Westminster.
Yeah, there's 45 of residents represented in the fall edition. There's poetry and memoirs and essays and fiction. And I'm going to be interviewing some of the writers starting today, and I'll be interviewing on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday through the month of October. So I enjoy those interviews because it gives me a chance to talk to people about their background and learn some more about them, things that I don't know, as well as talking about their writing. So I hope everybody will tune into that.
Well, and don't forget, we got the OU game coming up Saturday, and I hope they don't try to pull all the stunts that TCU did last week.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking. I always look forward to that game. I think it's on at 11 o'clock or some such time, if the time's been announced yet. But I'll be watching. Did I ever tell you about the Texas OU game we went to, and the traffic was so bad, we were late getting in, and it was 10 minutes into the first quarter, and Texas was behind 28-0.
Holy smoke. That must have been before Darrell Royal days.
It certainly was. Thank
Did
God
we
for
win
Darrell
the game?
Royal.
Who won? OU.
Who won the game?
Who won the game?
Uh-huh.
I think it was like 48-0. Bud
Oh, okay.
Wilkinson.
Oh,
Bud
yeah.
Wilkinson
We
took pity on us, I believe.
Goodness.
But
I'm probably not going to watch a replay of that.
They probably don't ever show it either.
so I lived up in the Panhandle and at Pampa, and there were only two UT graduates in the whole town, maybe in the whole county. Most of them were OU people, and it was pretty rough until Darrell finally came. So thank
They
God
were a
for
lot
Darrell.
closer to OU than they were to Austin, weren't they?
Yeah. So on that, we need to go. Theo was a great guest today, and we want to be sure to thank him for being here. And don't forget your RAF holiday fun gift. Do it today. And all of you out there, keep those emails coming. We want your ideas. Please tune in next Monday, same time, same station. And have a good and safe week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay.